Let's get back to our breaking news right now. A verdict reached in the trial of Robert Interval, the man accused of murdering Phoenix mom Christine Mustafa back in 2017.
And our Jamie Warren is outside the courthouse right now with details where that verdict just came down. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick and Kaylee. Yeah, just moments ago, a jury decided that Robert Interval was not guilty of first-degree murder, and that announcement led to cries from some of the family members inside of the courtroom. However, they did find him guilty of second-degree murder, and right now, more testimony is about to happen as the jury hears on whether or not that second-degree murder charge should also face an aggravated charge or not. So if he is eventually convicted of aggravated second-degree murder, he could face a minimum of 20 years in prison. Without that aggravated second-degree murder charge, he could face a minimum of 16 years in prison. Now, the courtroom was absolutely packed this morning. I counted at least 40 people who are supporters of Christine Mustafa. There was only some standing room, and not everyone could fit inside. They actually had to go into a second room to watch as that verdict was read. But this trial, it took about 7 weeks, but it only took the jury about 2 full days to deliberate here. Now, the prosecution says that Interval killed Mustafa because he feared that she would leave him and take their daughter with her. However, her body was never found. Now, we do expect sentencing to possibly happen about 30 days from now, but once again, the jury hearing more testimony here today to decide whether or not that second-degree murder charge is aggravated or not. And we are also expecting to hear from some of Mustafa's family once that testimony is over later this morning. Nick and Kaylee.
Yeah, and Jamie, speaking of Christine Mustafa's family, I know you were inside the courtroom for this. Did you get any sort of read from them, any sort of reaction on that second-degree murder conviction?
Well, leading up to this verdict being read today, they were extremely nervous, but they were hopeful. As soon as the jury read that he was not guilty of first-degree murder, there were a couple cries that came out in the courtroom from some of Mustafa's supporters. Some of her family was seen crying after that, but they are doing their best to hold their emotions together and wait until that sentencing period.
And that is the big question. And we did hear a couple of those sounds coming from the courtroom. Should be interesting, though, to hear after they heard the follow-up that he was found guilty of murder in the second degree. We appreciate your live report this morning, Jamie. Great work out there, and we'll hear from you here, I'm sure, momentarily.